Welcome back to Goodnight, Lighthouse. I'm Miss Dorothy, and I'm here to read you another story. And guess who I found? I found another book about Detective Dinosaur. You remember him. He's that silly dinosaur who's not a very good detective, but he's a lot of fun to read about. And this is called Detective Dinosaur, Undercover. Detective Dinosaur, Undercover. Undercover means he's supposed to be in disguise. Does he look like he's in disguise? I wonder if it's a chapter book. Let's look and see. It is a chapter book! 3 different stories in one book. One story called Undercover, and then the next story, Undercovers, and then one, Under the Weather? What does that have to do with being a detective? Wow, we need to get into this book and find out what's going on with our Detective Dinosaur. Are you ready to get inside this fun book with Miss Dorothy? Good. I need you to sit up and listen up, because here we go. Detective Dinosaur, Undercover, written by James Skofield, pictures by R.W. Alley. And it's a chapter book. Contents. Chapter 1, Undercover. Chapter 2, Undercovers. Chapter 3, Under the Weather. Dinosaurs in the story: Tyrannosaurus, Pterodactyl, Diplodocus. Bring, bring! The telephone rang in Detective Dinosaur's office. It was Chief Tyrannosaurus. "Come to my office, Detective Dinosaur," said the chief. "I have some undercover work for you." Ooh, undercover work. "Okay, Chief," said Detective Dinosaur. "I will be right over." He laced up his shoes. Detective Dinosaur pinned on his badge. He pulled on his vest. "Something is missing," he said to himself. "I know," said Detective Dinosaur. "The chief said this was undercover work. I had better cover up." Detective Dinosaur put on his overcoat. He pulled on his gloves. He plopped his hat on his head and slipped on his dark glasses. Said Detective Dinosaur. "I'm still not completely undercover." Wow, he's putting a lot on. Detective Dinosaur stuffed the sofa cushions into his overcoat. He draped a blanket over his shoulders. He clipped papers all over himself. "Oh dear," said Detective Dinosaur. "Undercover work is tiring." Detective Dinosaur emptied his basket onto the floor. He placed it over his head. It was very dark. "There," said Detective Dinosaur. "Now I am truly undercover." Detective Dinosaur left his office. He could not see. He bumped over to Chief Tyrannosaurus' office. The chief was surprised. "Who are you?" he growled. "It's me, Detective Dinosaur," said Detective Dinosaur, "reporting for undercover duty." Chief Tyrannosaurus laughed. "Oh, Detective Dinosaur," he said, "undercover means in disguise. Take off that silly outfit." Detective Dinosaur took the wastebasket off his head. He shed the blanket, took the cushions out of his overcoat, removed his dark glasses, hat, gloves, and overcoat, and sat down. "There," said Chief Tyrannosaurus. "Now I can see you." Detective Dinosaur said, "Yes, Chief," and yawned. "I think undercover work is too tiring for me." "Oh, I need a nap," said Detective Dinosaur. Case closed. Chapter 2. Detective Dinosaur took a nap in his office. He had a dream. In his dream, Detective Dinosaur was being chased by 2 large, scary blobs. Each time he looked, the blobs were right behind him. When he stopped running, the blobs stopped. When he started running again, the blobs started running too. Wow, what a dream. "Oh, drat," said Detective Dinosaur in his dream. "This is very alarming. I can't get away from these awful blobs. Go away," he shouted at the blobs. Detective Dinosaur shouted so loudly he woke himself up. "Oh, thank goodness. It was only a dream," said Detective Dinosaur. He began to sit up. And as he sat up, he noticed two large blobs moving toward him under the blanket. Detective Dinosaur froze. The blobs froze too. Very slowly, the detective began to lie back down, and the blobs backed away from him. What are the blobs? It was not just a dream, said Detective Dinosaur. It's happening to me right now. Help! 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 He shouted. From all over the police station, officers came running. Officer Pterodactyl, Deputy Diplodocus, Cadet Kitty, and Chief Tyrannosaurus all crowded into the office. What is the matter? Asked Chief Tyrannosaurus. Oh, Chief, said Detective Dinosaur, I had a bad dream. I was being chased by blobs. When I woke up, I found out it was true. Watch! Detective Dinosaur began to sit up, and the blobs moved under his blanket. Just then, Cadet Kitty pounced on the moving blobs. Woohoo! Go, Kitty! Brave Kitty, yelled Detective Dinosaur. Ouch! Get those blobs! Ouch! Ouch! Officer Pterodactyl giggled. Those are not blobs, she said. Those are your feet. She pulled back the blanket, and there were Detective Dinosaur's feet. They were under the blanket, and he thought they were blobs. Everyone left Detective Dinosaur's office. Cadet Kitty curled up on the blanket and closed her eyes. Detective Dinosaur patted her. Brave Kitty, he said softly. If those blobs come back, you arrest them. Case closed. Chapter 3. Under the Weather. It was a bright, sunny day. Detective Dinosaur and Officer Pterodactyl were on patrol. They stopped to buy some fruit at Ricky Raptor's fruit market. Officer Pterodactyl chose a big green apple. Detective Dinosaur chose a round yellow pear. Officer Pterodactyl went to pay. Detective Dinosaur was about to step outside when he noticed it was raining. Detective Dinosaur went over to Officer Pterodactyl. We must eat our fruit inside, he said. It has started to rain. You must be imagining things, sir, said Officer Pterodactyl. It is a bright, sunny day. Look! Detective Dinosaur turned around. Dinosaurs were strolling past in the warm sunshine. Go on outside, sir, said Officer Pterodactyl. I will join you when I have paid. He thought he saw rain, but it's very sunny out. Detective Dinosaur stepped out on the sidewalk. Splosh! A spray of cold water hit Detective Dinosaur on the head. He ducked back under the awning. That is very wet sunshine, said Detective Dinosaur to himself. Officer Pterodactyl joined him. Why, sir, she said, you are all wet. I told you it was raining, said Detective Dinosaur. How mysterious, said Officer Pterodactyl. It looks sunny to me. So you say, sputtered Detective Dinosaur. You try stepping outside. Officer Pterodactyl stepped out onto the sidewalk. The warm sun shone down on her. There, you see? Asked Officer Pterodactyl. Now come on out. Oh, how did he get so wet on such a warm, sunny day? Slowly, Detective Dinosaur stepped out from under the awning. Splash! A flood of cold water hit him in the face. Oh, I am sorry, said a voice. Detective Dinosaur and Officer Pterodactyl looked up. Rowena Raptor held a watering can. I was watering my flowers, called Rowena, but I did not mean to water you. Next time, be more careful, ma'am, said Officer Pterodactyl. Detective Dinosaur went back inside the fruit stand. May I borrow an umbrella? He asked Ricky Raptor. Certainly, Detective Dinosaur, said Ricky Raptor. He brought out a big plaid umbrella. Thank you, said Detective Dinosaur. He stepped back outside. There, he said. Now I am ready for anything. But, sir, said Officer Pterodactyl, it really is a beautiful day. You never know, said Detective Dinosaur. The weather around here can change so quickly. Together, the two friends walked on down the street and ate their fruit in the warm sunshine. Case Wow, he is not a very good detective, but he is a good friend, and he is a good dinosaur. That was so silly. Did you see what happened when he kept saying it was raining outside, but everybody else was out in the sun? But every time he went outside, he got wet, all because the lady was watering her plants. And now he thinks it's going to happen again, so he's carrying an umbrella everywhere he goes. He's a very, very silly Detective Dinosaur, but I like him a lot. I'm going to have to see if I can find more books about him because I think he's fun. And I love reading chapter books. It means I get to spend more time with you because it wasn't one story and it wasn't two stories. It was 3 stories in one book. So we got to spend a lot of time together tonight. And spending time with you is my favorite thing to do. But not now, because now it's time for all my little dinosaurs to get into bed. I need you to get under your covers, get cuddled up, curled up, ready for a really good night's sleep. And tomorrow, if it's raining outside, carry an umbrella. But if it's sunny, don't carry an umbrella. Don't be a silly Detective Dinosaur. And what you do need to do, obey, and obey right away. And then come back and see Miss Dorothy. I'm going to be sitting right here, ready to read another book to you. Bye! Thanks for reading with Miss Dorothy. I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope you'll come back soon to read another. What's your favorite book? Drop Miss Dorothy a note and let me know. I'll go find it, and I'll read it to you. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you soon.